everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on homophones. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 3. Once we've selected the subject of English Language Arts, grade 3, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of homophones. So we said our chapter is homophones. Our subject is English Language Arts. Grade 3. And the lessons that we are focusing on is going to be homophones with pictures and to identify homophones. So homophones with pictures, and we're also going to identify homophones, right? All right. So homophone, right? Words that Homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spelling as well as meanings, right? So it's words that sounds the same, but they have different spellings as well as different meaning, right? So that is a homophone. So we're going to find out now more about homophones, right? And especially the fact that homophones have different spellings, right? But they have different spellings and meanings, but they sound the same. And if we look at words with different spellings, right? And then we will look at the words by. Look at the first word by, right? This first word by, right? This is when you are purchasing something. So when you purchase something, and then of course you need to give money, right? And that will be in exchange for the goods that you will be getting. So when you buy something, it is like the fact it's you need to give money when you buy something. And then you get your items back, right? So that is basically homophones. That is that is buy. Then we have another word buy, right? And this word by, it means near, right? It means near. It's like, for example, they're sitting by the tree, right? They're standing by the shop, right? So it's saying, it's almost like saying it's near somewhere or near something, right? And then we have another word, by, which is B-Y-E. And B-Y-E, right? This by is short for saying goodbye. So it's like saying goodbye, but instead of saying goodbye, it's just saying short for bye. So that is basically the three words bye. So if you look at all three of these words, right, these are called homophones. And the reason why we call them homophones is because they sound the same, by, and by. But if we look at the spelling of these words as well as the meanings of these words, then it is different. All three of these words, they're spelled the same way, they're spelled differently, and the meaning of the words are different. And if we're going to look at a few more homophones, right? Once again, homophones are words with with the same sound, right? It's words that sounds the same, but these words have different meanings, right? So these are, or those are homophones. And we are going to find out more about homophones or more examples of homophones, right? And then we're also going to look at pictures of homophones and we're going to be identifying these different homophones. All right. So if we look at these pictures over here, right? These are homophones, different pictures as well as the words at the bottom, right? And once again, it says homophones. It's words that sound the same, but they have different meanings as well as spellings, right? If we look at this word, if we look at this picture, right? The pictures and the words night and night, right? Night and night. That is a homophone, right? Because it sounds the same, but the spelling as well as the meaning of the words are different, right? So which means that the first word night, which is Night, right? That is to do with like for example at night, right? Where we see the stars and the moon at night. So that is the first word. Let me just make it a bit bigger. And in the second word night, it is, for example, it's like it's like the knight, for example, that that is protecting the castle. Then we have another picture, right? And this word is one and one, right? So this picture is one and one, right? And it's like a number one. And let's say, for example, you came first and now you won a prize. All right. Then if we look at the next one, we have pain, right? Pain. Then we have pain and pain, right? So pain is like the aches that you're feeling in your back or aches that you're feeling in your legs, right? Of doing something. That is the pain that you're feeling. So now we need to maybe take some tablets, right, for the pain, or we need to, for example, get a massage for the pain or go to the doctor for the pain. That is pain, right? Then we have another word, pain, which is PANE. That's PANE, and that is the window pane, right? It's that little thing where the window is like you need to assist. Let's say the window is broken, and then we need to fix the glass of the window, and we need to basically fix it and put it back to the window pane. All right, then we have words like pair and pair, right? It's like a pair of socks and a pear, which is a fruit, right? And then we have, let's say, pail and pail of water. Pale is also somebody who is, let's say, even if you're light skinned, but if you're pale, it's like usually when people are pale, it's you can literally see that they are extremely light skinned. They're even lighter than what they look. Most times for us people who are more of a darker skinned, right? If we look pale, then it's usually because we are getting sick or we are becoming ill or something. Then we have the word right and right. I'm just choosing random ones, right? I'm just choosing random ones. So we have right and right. So the first one, right, is like saying, oh, that is correct. It's right. Like sharp, let's continue. That is all right. Then the next one, right, is like when you are either writing a letter, right, writing something down. And then we have ring and ring, right? The ring to ring at something and a ring like a band or something that you're wearing, right? Then we have a root and a root, right? A root is like, for example, the roots of a tree, roots of a plant that you find underground, right? And then also a route is like, okay, we are going to the park and we need to take this specific route. So we have a route and a route, right? So the roots of a tree and then the route that you need to follow when you need to go to a certain place. Let's switch on GPS and let us find the most easiest route to get to the park or the most easiest route to get to whoever's place, right? So that is a route. Then we have sail and sail. So the one sail is, for example, where you are sailing on a boat, right? And then the next one is like a sale. The same like we were saying about buy, right? Buy is when you need to, for example, give money and you get something back, like you get your item or goods in return. So that is also a sale. Like the shop owner, once you buy something from the shop owner, and then that is basically classified as a sale, right? Then we have sea and sea. It's like sea, which is which is the ocean, right? And then sees when you maybe look at something. It's like I see the eclipse, or I'm looking at the eclipse, or I see something, right? So that is a two different words, see. Then we have sun and sun. Sun can be either the sun that shines every day, and that rises, the sun rises and it sets a certain time, right? And then also another word, son, is either your brother, who's my parents' son, my mom and my daddy's son, right? That is the two different words, son. All right. So this is basically, I'm just going to leave it just there. But once again, these are your homophones, right? And we said homophones are words um, with the same sound, but they have different meanings as well as spellings, right? And I'm sure you know quite a few words that are homophones, right? Words that sounds the same, right? But they have different meanings, right? So I'm not going to explain the others, but there we also have the troop and a troop. Like to wail is like you're crying and a whale in the ocean, right? And then we have waist, like you're by your stomach, right? Not even stomach, not even necessarily stomach. The waist, it's like, for example, usually if you want to fit a jean, they'll say, okay, what is your waist size, in order for your jeans to close. Or waste is like, the food that you're wasting in the bin or something. And then weak, right? Those are all words that are homophones, right? Yes. So, yes, somebody's also mentioning one by saying more homophones are words like male, sorry, male and male, right? So, male and male this is, of course, a man, right? Male is a man, and mail is, for example, letters that you are getting in your post box, right? Then steel, yes, steel, almost like metal, and steel is when you're taking things that does not belong to you, right? So well done. Those are also called homophones, right? The same with, for example, if you have the word ruler. Okay, ruler and ruler is basically words that, okay, it sounds the same. These are actually homographs. But okay, let me rather just stick to this ones that we have. Words that sounds the same, but the spelling and the meaning of the words are different. Right? So thank you very much for this. Male is also a homophone, and steel is also a homograph. All right, so now we're going to aplusstudents.ca, and we're going to do we are doing the chapter of homophones once again, and we're going to um, look at homophones with pictures. So we're going to look at the homophones with pictures, and we're going to try and identify what the word is based on the action or based on the picture that we see, right? All right, so now look at this picture, right? Look at this picture. We can say the ball. So what is he doing over here? Yes, it is possible that the word can also be spelled the same way, but that is not a homophone, that's a homograph. So homographs are words that sounds the same and they also spell the same way. And I wanted to make an example of ruler and ruler, right? So this ruler can be, for example, an actual ruler that you use to measure, you know, something when you rule a line, sorry. And then a ruler can also be like somebody who's ruling either the country, somebody who's taking over the palace, right? Something like that. So that is called homographs. But if it's words that sounds the same, but the spellings and the meaning of the word is different, then we call that homophones. Yes. So if we look at this picture, right? This person threw the ball, right? So threw is the past tense of throw, right? And this is how you spell the word through. And another word that sounds the same as this word is through. It's like saying, I went through the tunnel. We went through the tunnel while we were driving, right? So that is the two words. It sounds the same, but the spelling as well as the meanings of these words are different, right? Yes, yeah, it says through and through, right? Through means in one end and out the other end you can jump through a hoop or you can drive through the tunnel, like I mentioned, or it is through the passings of throw, right? It's like when you throw a ball in the air. All right. Okay. If we look at this thing that you're seeing over here, what are they measuring? So, what are they checking? So, what word matches the picture? Yes, so they basically either measuring her weight, right, by getting on a scale. So that is weight, and this is how we write the word weight, right? And this is where you, for example, measure your weight, like how heavy or how light you are, right? Like as your body size, Or another word that sounds the same as this word, right, is wait. It's like hang on, like wait. Wait by the gate, right? Wait for me, right? So these are the two words that sounds the same, but the spellings as well as the meanings of the words are different, right? All right, so let's go to this one before we go to our test. What is this man doing? He is sitting in this little boat. He's sitting in his little boat doing what? He's in his boat using his oars. Then he is. All right, so this is road, right? It means road is past tense for row, right? So road. And a word that basically sounds the same as this word is road. It's like the road that the cars drive on, right? This is that word, road. Yeah, so here they say the words road and road are homophones. Cars drive on a road, which is ROAD. And then the road is the past tense for row. You can row a boat. All right, so now let's go to our test, right? Where we're going to identify the homophones with pictures. All right, if we look at this specific picture, right, which word matches the picture? Is it option one, which is meet, MEET, or option two, meat, which is MEAT? So meat. Which meat are we talking about? The MEET, which is option one, or MEAT, which is option two, meat. All right, so if we were to choose the correct one, right, the word that matches the picture, then we'd say it's meat, right? It's meat, it's food, right? And the first option, meet, is like to meet a friend, like I'm meeting up with a friend. So option two is correct. All right. Which word matches the picture? In, which is I double N, or in? It's like a house. It's like a double story, triple story with different rooms. So is it in, which is I double N, option one, or in I N? All right, so if we were to choose the correct word that matches the picture, we would choose in, which is I double N, right? Many years ago, people used to call it an inn. Nowadays, we just call it a motel, right? But an inn was usually a place where either people would sit and drink, right? And then later on, like maybe for people who won't be able to drive home or something or walk home, you can then book a like a room and then you can stay. Or it would just be like some form of cheaper accommodation for people to stay in. Which word matches the picture? Night, which starts with a K, or night, option two. All right, and we match the word with the picture, we would say it is night, the first option. All right, look at the next one, right? Um, which word matches this picture, right? Is it option one, which is scent, SENT, or option two, which is scent, CENT? So scent, it says Liberty 2015, 1 cent. So which word matches that picture? Option one, scent, or option two, scent? All right, and if we were to choose the correct word, then we would go with the second option. It's a cent, right? 1 cent. It's a form of money. All right, then we're looking at the, okay, the last one, right? We need to match the word with the picture. Clothes. Clothes. Is it option one or option two? The clothes that's hanging on the line. Clothes we wear. Is it option one or option two? All right. And if we were to match the word clothes, which is option one, with the picture, then we are talking about clothes. The second one is close, right? It's like you close a door or close the gate, close the cupboard. Now we're going to identify homophones. All right, so now we're going to identify homophones, right? And we said homophones are words that sound the same, but they have different spellings and meanings, right? And we made an example the other time. We made an example earlier on about buy. We said buy, it means to pay for something. And then we have buy, right? Which is by, which means near. It's like I'm sitting by the tree, by I'm standing by the shop. Or you have by, which is a short for goodbye, right? So now we're going to identify our homophones within our sentence. It says, select the homophones road, R-O-D-E, sorry. It says, so you're going to have to identify the word that sounds the same as another word, right? So we need to select the homophone of road, R-O-D-E, right? So I saw a raccoon crossing the road last night. What is the word that sounds the same as that word, right? But the spelling and the meaning is different. Yes, so if we were to choose the correct word, identify the word that matches that word road, then we'd say road, right? Because road, I rode a bicycle, right? Which means that rode is the past tense of ride, and then we have road. It's like the car driving in the road, right? So these two words, they sound the same. The spelling and the meaning of these two words are different, and we call them homophones. Okay, now we're looking at another word, dear, right? Dear, it's D-E-A-R. It's like my dear, right? We watched the deer drink from the river. So we need to select the word deer from that sentence that matches this word deer that I've written down. All right. And if we were to choose the correct word, then we would say deer, right? So these two words, they sound the same, but the spelling and the meanings of those words are different. Then we need to add the home phone through and through. That we already did, right? So that we already did. So now let's just go to the test. Because we already did the homophone of through and through, right? All right, we need to select the homophone of blue, Blew, right? The new bridge in Richmond is blue. What is the word that matches this homophone blue, Blew? Is it new or is it blue? Option one or option two? All right, and if we would select the correct option, we would say option two, blue, which is the color blue, matches blue, which is the partings of below, right? It's like the wind blow, wind blew, right? Select the homophone of bold, bold. Ronnie billed as for the cost of the boat. Build. So this word build that we have underlined or highlighted, right? It's like we are building a house, right? Build a sand castle or something. But now it says Ronnie build us for the cost of the boat. Is it option one build or option two boat? That matches or that sounds the same as the first word that is highlighted. All right, and if we were to choose the correct option, we would go with option one, build. It's like if you go to a restaurant and they give you your check, right, or they bring you your bill because you were billed for the food or the drinks that you had. That is the word build, right? Yes, well done, well done. Select the homophone would. The homophone would. WOULD. It's like I would go with you to the movies. I would like to, right? So wood. It says in the winter we burn wood in the fireplace. So is it option one or option two, winter or wood that matches that word? So wood. What is the word that matches that word wood? All right, and then we would choose option two that is or that sounds the same as that word would, right? So well done. That word is correct. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on homophones. Right, we said homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spelling as well as different meanings, right, to the words. Right. So that is what we call homophones. Once again, it's word that sounds the same, but they have different spelling and the meaning of those words are different. All right, so that is the end of our lesson, grade 3. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good weekend further. Goodbye.